The Magna Carta, foundation of limited government and individual liberties. Welcome to Medieval Chronicles 1066, Life and Legends. Today, we delve into one of the most significant documents in the history of democracy, the Magna Carta. Join us as we explore its origins, content, and lasting impact on the world. Our journey begins in England in the early 13th century. The country was ruled by King John, a monarch infamous for his heavy taxation and military failures, particularly the loss of the Angevin territories in France, including the crucial region of Normandy in 1204. King John's reign was marked by his constant demands for money to fund his wars. He levied scutage, a tax paid by knights to avoid military service, more frequently and at higher rates than his predecessors. His attempts to reclaim lost territories in France, such as the disastrous campaign leading to the Battle of Bouvines in 1214, ended in failure, further straining his relations with the barons. Fed up with John's tyranny, a group of rebel barons decided to take action. In May 1215, under the leadership of Robert Fitzwalter, they formally renounced their fealty to the king, demanding a charter to limit his powers and safeguard their rights. They captured London, forcing King John into negotiations. On June 15, 1215, at Runnymede, a meadow beside the River Thames, King John met with the rebel barons. Under considerable pressure, he agreed to their demands, and the Magna Carta was sealed. But what exactly did this charter entail? The Magna Carta, or Great Charter, contained 63 clauses addressing various grievances. Some of the most significant clauses included: Clause 1, the Church shall be free from royal interference. Clause 12, no scutage or aid, taxes, shall be imposed without the common council of the realm. Clause 39, no free man shall be seized or imprisoned except by the lawful judgment of his peers, or by the law of the land. Clause 40, to no one will we sell, to no one deny or delay right or justice. These clauses aim to protect the rights of the barons and, by extension, the common people, from the king's arbitrary rule. It established the principle that the king was subject to the law, a revolutionary idea at the time. Clause 39, in particular, laid the groundwork for what we now know as the right to a fair trial. Initially, the Magna Carta did not bring peace. King John sought the Pope's support, and in August 1215, Pope Innocent III annulled the charter, declaring it illegal and unjust. This act of defiance led to the First Barons' War, a civil war between the king and the rebel barons. However, after John's death in October 1216, his 9-year-old son Henry III ascended to the throne, and his regents reissued the Magna Carta to secure loyalty and peace. Henry III's regents reissued the Magna Carta in 1216 and again in 1217, with some modifications. The 1217 reissue included a separate document, the Charter of the Forest, which addressed common people's rights to use royal forests. The Magna Carta was issued once more in 1225, this time with the full consent of Henry III upon reaching adulthood. This version, granted in exchange for a tax to support the king, became the definitive text and was frequently referenced in subsequent legal and political matters. The Magna Carta's influence continued to grow throughout the Middle Ages. In 1297, during the reign of Edward I, the Magna Carta was confirmed and entered into the official statutes of the realm. Edward I, known as Longshanks, reissued the charter in exchange for taxation to fund his military campaigns. This solidified the Magna Carta's role as a cornerstone of English law. This period saw the Magna Carta invoked in various legal cases, reinforcing its principles in the judiciary. In the 14th century, the Magna Carta was reaffirmed multiple times by monarchs like Edward III. In 1354, Edward III issued the Statute of the Staple, which incorporated many principles of the Magna Carta, including the right to due process. This era also saw the Magna Carta influence the development of Parliament, which began to play a more significant role in governance, reflecting the evolving balance of power between the monarchy and the nobles. The 15th century brought the Wars of the Roses, a series of civil wars for control of the English throne between the houses of Lancaster and York. Amidst the chaos, the principles of the Magna Carta continued to resonate. Richard III, despite his notorious reputation, reaffirmed the Magna Carta in an attempt to gain legitimacy and support. The turbulent period underscored the need for a stable and just legal system, a legacy of the Magna Carta's influence. The ascension of the Tudor dynasty in 1485 with Henry VII marked the end of the Wars of the Roses and the beginning of a new era. Henry VII and his son, Henry VIII, strengthened the monarchy, often bypassing traditional feudal obligations. Despite this, the Magna Carta's principles persisted. Under Elizabeth I, the Magna Carta was invoked to challenge royal prerogative, particularly in cases of imprisonment without trial. The Magna Carta remained a symbol of resistance against absolute authority. The early 17th century saw the Stuart monarchs, James I and Charles I, ascend to the throne. James I's belief in the divine right of kings brought him into conflict with Parliament, which increasingly cited the Magna Carta to limit royal authority. Sir Edward Coke, a prominent jurist, used the Magna Carta in his legal arguments to assert the supremacy of the law over the king. Charles I's reign was marked by severe tensions with Parliament. His attempts to rule without Parliament and impose taxes unilaterally led to the Petition of Right in 1628, which echoed the Magna Carta by demanding that no taxation be levied without Parliament's consent and that no one be imprisoned without due process. The continued disregard for these principles by Charles I eventually led to the English Civil War. The English Civil War, 1642–1651, was a conflict between the forces of King Charles I and Parliament, leading to significant constitutional changes. The Magna Carta's influence was evident as Parliament sought to curb the king's powers. The war ended with the execution of Charles I in 1649 and the establishment of the Commonwealth under Oliver Cromwell. Cromwell, though a champion of parliamentary sovereignty, eventually dissolved Parliament and ruled as Lord Protector, highlighting the complex relationship between authority and liberty. The Magna Carta's principles continued to serve as a touchstone for those advocating for a balance of power and the rule of law. The restoration of the monarchy in 1660 brought Charles II to the throne, and with it, a reaffirmation of the principles laid out in the Magna Carta. The subsequent development of the Habeas Corpus Act in 1679, which strengthened the right to a fair trial and protection against unlawful detention, further enshrined the Magna Carta's legacy. The Magna Carta's principles continued to influence legal and political developments. In the 17th century, Sir Edward Coke's interpretation of the Magna Carta laid the groundwork for the Petition of Right and later the Habeas Corpus Act. The Glorious Revolution of 1688 further cemented these ideas, leading to the Bill of Rights in 1689, which incorporated many principles of the Magna Carta. These principles were echoed across the Atlantic. The American colonists invoked the Magna Carta in their struggle against British rule, leading to the American Revolution. The Fifth Amendment, which guarantees due process of law, and the Sixth Amendment, which ensures the right to a fair trial, both draw directly from the Magna Carta's clauses. Furthermore, its ideas helped shape the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, emphasizing the importance of individual liberties and the rule of law. The Magna Carta's enduring relevance lies in its fundamental principles of justice, rule of law, and individual rights. It symbolizes the ongoing struggle for freedom and justice, reminding us that power must always be held accountable. Today, the Magna Carta is celebrated as a cornerstone of modern democracy and legal systems worldwide. It continues to inspire movements for justice and human rights, demonstrating its timeless significance. As we reflect on the Magna Carta, we see a document born out of conflict that laid the groundwork for modern democracy. It is a testament to the enduring human quest for liberty and justice. The principles enshrined in the Magna Carta have transcended time, shaping societies and legal systems around the world. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to Medieval Chronicles 1066 Life and Legends for more fascinating stories from the past. Let us know in the comments what medieval topics you would like us to explore next. Until then, keep exploring the legends and lessons of history. We will see you next time on Medieval Chronicles 1066 Life and Legends.